On August 8th, 1993, Kelly Cahill was driving back home with her husband from visiting a friend. On the way there, they experienced strange lights in the distance, and on the way back, they saw it again. But this time, it escalated. They came home, eventually, with 1 hour of missing time and the feeling of nausea. What happened in that hour of time she missed? Join us today as we talk about the Kelly Cahill abduction. Unknown,
Unsolved,
Unseen,
Triple U.
Woohoo! Welcome back to episode 93 of the podcast. We're 7 away from the big ol' 100 and being in triple digits, which is insane.
That is insane.
And I do want to thank you everyone in the last couple of weeks for the new listens we've been getting. We've seen actual uptick. Looks like the collab did great, and apparently everyone wanted to listen to the Pender County episode, which I did not expect. And the people really like the Gemstone, Gemtown, was it?
Gem City.
Gem City vampires as well. I guess doing some of the more outlandish things really grabs the attention of people.
It's stuff that hasn't necessarily been done before.
Yeah, but enough about that. I think it's time to introduce ourselves. I am, let's see, what did I put for today? I'm your interstellar host, Frank.
And I'm your feet on the ground host, Sage.
Ooh, I thought you said feed first, not feet.
No, feet. 2 feet, 10 toes down.
I get fed on the ground.
I'm 10 toes down on the earth.
All right, well, announcements, I got nothing for today, but do you have anything, Sage?
I got nothing. I'm all good.
All right. Are you ready to get into some craziness? How have you been, though, lately?
I'm tired.
Has this smog been really affecting you or smoke or whatever?
Yeah. Where Frank and I are at, we definitely have gotten hit pretty hard with the smoke that's coming from the Canadian wildfires. So, heart goes out to them, praying for everybody, hoping that they're all, everyone makes it out okay and stuff. I know it's really bad up there. So I can't complain about the smoke down here when I'm not dealing with the damage that they are. But it has sucked. I'm asthmatic, so...
We did get to watch England struggle to keep the lead against France yesterday. That was, I wanted to see England win there, but man, they were struggling there at the end. All right, and then they just thinking, what else has happened? Obsession came to streaming, which is really cool. Sage does not want to watch it whatsoever.
No.
We're eating good with horror movies lately. Obsession, Backrooms. I'm going to go probably see Buddy next month.
What's that?
It's, I don't know, some horror movie with a mascot. It's from the guy who made Too Many Cooks.
I don't know what that is either.
I think I should show you Too Many Cooks.
I'm good.
No, it's not like a scary thing. It's a funny thing.
Doesn't matter.
It's Adult Swim shit posting.
I don't like Adult Swim, so.
Wow. Does that mean you hate Rick and Morty?
I don't like that kind of humor.
Smart.
Like, it's not my humor.
I will have to show you part of Too Many Cooks. Okay, it does not even start horror until like the last minute, I think.
I'm fine.
You just don't like all those cooks. Too many of them. All right, well, today we're heading back down under.
Down under.
Down under, to the land down under.
Aye, mate.
We have a story.
Where the Irwins live. Listen, we gotta give Robert Irwin some love.
I think this is the second time we're heading to Australia in this podcast, because we did the Beaumont children back, was that episode, I think 11, so a while ago. I don't think we've been to Australia since.
Yeah.
Now,
not that I recall, at least. We had a little bit of Australia in the Malaysia Airlines.
Yeah.
Flight disappearance, but not enough for it to be substantial.
But we've been doing a lot of America lately, though.
Yeah, fuck America. I'm
We
just kidding.
we did North Carolina, Ohio, North Carolina then again, and then Ohio again. We really did only 2 states in our last 4 episodes.
I need to get out of Ohio.
Yeah, I think Ohio now takes the lead for where we've covered the most.
Gross. Just kidding. If you're from
know.
Ohio, we still.
I'm just trying to see what was before that. Before that was the Ouija board, which is everywhere, and then Italy, back to America, Argentina, and then PA. Damn, we've had a lot of America slop lately, as the kids would call it. It's like friend slop or AI slop, but AI slop's different. That's the worst slop of them all. But all right, today we're going to be doing an alien abduction case in Australia. Sage, have you ever heard of the Kelly Cahill abduction? And I'm pretty sure I'm saying this right. Some people say Cahill, but I'm pretty sure in the Australian interviews they have it as Cahill. Or Cahill? I can't say it well. Like they say it also with the accent.
I was gonna say with the accent. I think is where the.
But it's not Cahill. I know that. But the way they say it, like you gotta have the accent, and I can't do accents to save my life.
Yeah, Cahill is very Americanized. But no, I don't think I have.
Well, it's also known as the Umemmering Creek Encounter. I think that's how you say it. I'm never going to say that name again.
Definitely haven't heard that either.
Well, if you're looking for alien cases, small or big, I found a source that's actually a huge list of these, and it's crazy because the picture I used for the Joe Simonton and the Cusack alien encounter episodes, I actually used I found the artist for that, and they have like just drawings for so many different alien encounters, big ones and obscure ones, and so now I have their thing saved so I can look at their thing to find list of alien encounters. Also, one of my main sources today is the other place I like to go for alien things. It's the UFOevidence.org, which is a really great website. It's unfortunately no longer being updated since like 2007, but they keep it alive, and there's so much good sources, like primary sources and it's probably the most accurate you'll ever get for some of these, like to the T. And with that also being said, you can find our sources in the show notes below. With that being said, do you want us to get into this?
Yeah, take it away.
Well,
lead us on a journey.
To those who have been craving more alien encounters, because we haven't done one in like over 10 episodes.
Which doesn't sound like a long time until you remember we only release one a week. Yeah. And so that was literally 2.5 months ago when we last did
Well, it's crazy. I'm just looking at our last 10. Our last alien encounter episode. Sorry, no, it was 9 episodes ago. It was 84 is the last one. And that was one we were pretty sure was a hoax. But since then, we've done conspiracy, true crime, weird paranormal, and one haunted place. And we did one cryptid also in that time. But like we've been kept it pretty diverse, but more towards the true crime paranormal side.
Just where I like it.
We gotta get those cryptids back up, which check out episode 99. I'm working on something special there.
Maybe I'll do a cryptid next week.
You should. Also, if you guys hear my voice nasally at all, I'm still coming out of whatever I had last week, and this smoke in the air has not helped whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, today we're heading out to a suburb of Melbourne. Do you know where Melbourne is, Sage?
Australia.
Southeast corner of Australia.
All right.
Across the Bass Strait that has Tasmania. So if you see Australia, you see that little spot on the lower right on a map where there's Tasmania underneath. That's the Bass Strait. And so Melbourne's on the Australian side of that.
Isn't that the capital?
I think it's Sydney. Sydney or Melbourne?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Sydney.
All I know is that Queensland is where...
Sydney is the capital of Earth and Halo.
Jackson lives from the Red Thread.
Now, did you know that there's actually also a triangle known as the Bass Strait Triangle?
I did not know that. I know very little about Australia.
That's another future topic in the making right there, which I love throwing those out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this out there so everyone's kind of aware where my brain's at. I don't ignore Australia in a lot of things, but I don't take a lot of it seriously sometimes because of the animals they have there.
Racist.
Listen, kangaroos, those are some scary motherfuckers. Yeah. You ever see one of them punch something?
Yeah, you don't want to. They can kick and break bones.
Oh my god, it's so terrifying. And huntsman spiders or whatever they are, bird eater spiders.
Goliath bird eaters are South America.
Okay, so then the Huntsman, is that the one that's in Australia?
Yeah, I believe so.
Fuck them all. Burn the whole place down. I saw a video on Instagram Reels the other day of a girl who had a huntsman, like an Australian girl who had a huntsman in her bedroom, and it was like up in the corner, and then she lost it, and so then she like was awake for like 48 hours or some shit because she was trying to figure out where the fuck this spider went, and she was gonna try to kill it with some hairspray.
You gotta be careful, like they'll go into like boots, shoes, and your car.
Do they have scorpions in Australia?
Yeah. They have scorpions, they got snakes, they got spiders. They got an unhealthy amount of cane toads that are ruining the environment because they're an invasive species.
Koalas?
Yep.
Aren't they mean?
I don't think so.
Who's mean? Sloths.
No, sloths aren't mean. I think koalas are mean if you back them into a corner and like try and invade on their territory. They don't like it, but that's almost every animal.
I just want a hug.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who grab koalas and then ruin it because like it's hard sometimes for them to get back in trees. Some of like animals won't accept others if they've been touched by people. So
I've heard that about like baby ducks and stuff.
Yeah, I saw one recently with sea lions in California where people love to go touch them and take pictures with them on the beach, and somebody did that to a sea lion pup, and so the mother won't take it ever again.
Did it get rescued?
Many times not, because people won't report it. They'll block people from reporting it. Like sometimes if somebody sees it happening and they try and report it, people will tap the person for reporting it.
No, I meant did someone rescue the pup later though, knowing that
only
the mom
if it's reported. But I don't think so in that one, to my knowledge.
So it just died.
Probably.
Then.
A lot die that way, unfortunately. If I'm not mistaken, I think a lot die that way because people want to get their social media clout.
Human beings are disgusting.
Yep.
But let's talk about aliens.
Yeah.
Because those are cooler.
All right. So we're going to the suburb of Nair Warren North, specifically on the Belgrave Hallam Road in the foothills of the Dandenong mountain range. This is in the Australian state of Victoria. Kelly Cahill is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw this in one place, but I didn't see it everywhere, but I believe it's a pseudonym. She was 27-year-old housewife at the time, mother of 3, back in 1993. And that's when this event takes place. So 27, mother of 3, housewife.
Okay.
This event took place on the night of August 8th, 1993, winter night in Australia, because don't forget their seasons are the inverse of ours. A night that at first was just like any others, nothing out of the ordinary. Kelly and her husband Andrew, I believe also a pseudonym, were heading to a friend's place in the Dandenongs. I love that name for mountains. I hope I'm saying it right. They were there for their friend's daughter's birthday. They were driving between Belgrave and Fountain Gate. They were on their way to their friend's place when Kelly saw a ring of orange lights in a field. She thinks whatever she saw wasn't normal, but didn't want to bring it up to her husband. However, a few minutes later, she tells him, "I swear I saw a UFO down under." I have the down under part.
I was going to say, because I don't think that they actually said that.
Yeah, but she said that I swear I saw a UFO. But in my mind, she says, "I swear I saw a UFO down under."
Why would she add down under?
Because she's Australian. It's like part of their religion.
No, they would say mate.
Mate, I believe I saw a UFO down under. I don't know how my accent sounds because sometimes they sound good in my head.
That was terrible.
But to everyone, they're terrible.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to say, I think I saw a UFO, but I could say, mate. Aye, mate. I think I saw a UFO. That's Canadian.
You just went Canadian.
That's so Canadian.
And Scottish at the same time.
Might be. Listen, okay, going back to my roots, okay? My hockey roots and my actual roots.
So her husband decides to pull the classic. He really goes for tradition here, all right? And he decides to hit her with gaslighting.
Wow.
Despite believing what she saw wasn't normal, she still told her husband she believed that she saw a UFO, and he said, "Don't be stupid. It was probably just a helicopter."
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, but, she mentions it was silent and everything, and he just, typical women hysteria. You gotta gaslight them every chance you get. Keep them humble.
As someone who is often gaslit, specifically by my fucking doctors.
I bet you're all saying me. Yeah, your doctors have been doing a lot of gaslighting to you lately.
Yeah.
Maybe you got gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
I'm about to just gaslight the fuck up.
All right.
But also, we don't do that to women. Don't do that to women.
Don't gaslight them.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially don't do it because they're women.
Yeah, duh.
But they debated it for a bit and then moved on because Kelly realized it was going nowhere.
No.
And they eventually made it to their friend's place. While there, the topic of what Kelly saw came up, and she was just made fun of by everybody. I'm going... Oh, wait. Do you have something to say before I move on to the useless part?
I was going to say, if I came to you and I said, Frank, I think I just saw a UFO, what would your response be?
First off, I'd ask you more details to let me know what you saw, because in case you say you saw something move in the night sky, it might be a satellite.
Okay, well, I'm not that stupid.
I want you to give me a reason for why you believe it's a UFO. I'm not just going to make
Listen,
fun of you.
ladies, okay, we've been together for 9.5 years at this point, and he still won't just blatantly believe me.
I will ask you later about what you would do in a situation, so that's coming.
Okay.
Now, this is where a little useless fact, but I just wanted to add little details here. They then went out to go play bingo. And it sounds so they went with Kelly's friend, who she refers to her when she talks to her girlfriend. And they went there, went out there with her girlfriend and her girlfriend's daughter, or daughters, I think. I think it was a daughter for whose birthday it was. And at bingo, if I'm reading this right, her daughter, whose birthday party it was they went to, was there with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend broke up with her and left with somebody else from bingo.
The friend's daughter.
Yes. Broke up with his girlfriend, the friend's daughter.
The friend's daughter broke up with her.
No, the friend's daughter, her boyfriend broke up with her at bingo and left with somebody else.
So this friend must have been much older than Kelly.
I guess so. I don't know.
Because if she was in her 20s,
I don't know.
Having a friend who has a kid that can date is like...
But also, imagine going to bingo and your boyfriend breaks up with you at bingo and leaves with another woman from bingo.
Just better at bingo, I guess.
Yeah, those bingo skills.
That does fucking suck.
Hey, anyone single out there listening, bingo's where you go to get the biddies and the hunks.
Let me tell you, Frank's family, excellent.
That's how I got you. See, you got people who love bingo get the wonderful wives.
Oh, thanks. Bingo, raffles, fucking anything that requires you to have any semblance of luck. Gambling. Frank's family, I shouldn't even try. Frank's family just got it in the freaking bag. Our 65-inch TV, his parents won in a raffle. My dude, we have a freaking floating blow-up, what do you call it? Pontoon boat. I'm pretty sure you're all...
We have an electric grill.
You won a fucking raffle. It's insane. It's insane.
We have a cornhole set, too.
Every time I try, I win nothing.
The TV we used to use in our bedroom is one I got on a raffle from middle school.
Unbelievable.
That TV's dead, though, at this point. But that one lasted me quite a long time. I won that 8th grade middle school year, 32-inch flat-screen TV, which was insane at the time. And I used that for so long.
Ridiculous.
Now, let's go back to the story here, but I wanted to bring up the bingo. They eventually head out to make it home and leave at around 1 a.m. Here is where we get into the real meat of this story, despite what you may have thought about bingo being the meat of the story. We're going to get into it now. They are driving back home, and they take the same route they took earlier. As they are at the same stretch where Kelly saw the orange ring before, they both see it this time. It is in front of them, hovering above the road. As they get closer, the object seemed more round. There's some type of glass around it, and it seemed there were some windows in the craft, and the lights were from the bottom. As they got closer, they were able to hear a sound as well. Kelly's husband then admitted that she was right. You're right. That's something. That's very, very strange. And Kelly believes she also saw the silhouettes of some beings in the craft.
Whoa.
Then the craft shot up into the air at an incredible speed, and it was gone. They thought it was all over, but alas, it was not. They kept driving around a kilometer further, and for anyone who's wondering, that a kilometer, 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers, so you do the math to figure out what a kilometer is in miles. I'm not doing all the conversions for everyone. Today, I did not feel like it.
How many miles is 1 kilometer?
1.6.
Okay.
So
how far did they travel?
28 kilometers is half a mile, so it's a little over half a mile. So they drove 1 kilometer. Little over half a mile. They probably 0.6 miles.
Okay. Okay.
So when they were there, they saw a very bright light in front of them, and they could barely see because of how bright it was. Andrew decided to keep driving, and that was the last thing that they both remembered. They came to several hundred meters further down the road.
Wow, that's so scary.
All Kelly could think about was what the hell had just happened, and Andrew couldn't explain what it was. He assumed they must have just driven around the corner. Kelly felt something was off, but she couldn't even remember the bright lights and the craft anymore from earlier as well. She just knew something had happened. She could smell vomit, but couldn't find where it was coming from. I would absolutely hate that. It would infuriate me beyond end if I could just smell vomit.
Oh my god, that would be... It's like that one time that my sister left a freaking milkshake empty cup in my car, and it slid underneath the front seat, and so I didn't know where the smell was coming from for the longest time. God, it was horrible.
Now, they then argued about it for the rest of the ride, for quite a bit of the ride home, about what happened.
I would certainly argue with you too. Andrew
just seemed to downplay it all during the ride home, and Kelly just gave up on the argument as it was going nowhere.
Sometimes that's a fear response. It's a defense mechanism.
On that ride home, about 20 minutes from their home, Kelly believes she saw a tall, dark figure on the side of the road for a couple of seconds. She only got a brief glimpse, but firmly believes she saw something. When they make it back, it is apparent that somehow they lost an hour. Pretty brief encounter, right?
I mean, relatively speaking, sounds brief, but...
Well, let's get into the aftermath of the encounter.
Okay.
The night they got home, Kelly had dreams about UFOs but couldn't recall it that well. Kelly and Andrew agree that they saw a UFO, and that's about where their agreement ends. Kelly remembers some type of blackout, missing time, and she saw people as well, like other humans there too. They both could smell the vomit and had unexplained stomach pain. Kelly described it as severe muscular fatigue. It was in her lower abdomen and radiated up to her shoulders. Beyond this, Kelly would feel ill and had unexplained menstrual bleeding. She had recently just had her period a week prior, and I'm a man and cannot relate. Sage, can you provide your expertise as a woman? If you had your period a week ago and it's done, should you have severe menstrual bleeding a week later? Or no, sorry, unexplained.
I mean, I think it's generally normal sometimes to have spotting in the interim.
But this is like full like period bleeding, I think, type levels.
I mean, it's not unheard of to have more than one full menstrual cycle, like a menstrual period in a 28 span time. Sometimes that indicates that something's wrong. So I can't say it's 100% unlikely that would be the case, but it's certainly abnormal in a sense, yeah. But like spotting and things like that, that's normal throughout the month, unfortunately.
Okay. So this is definitely on the side of the unexplained.
I would say it's a little abnormal, but I'm not going to go out of my way to say that it's like totally wrong.
This would lead to her going to the hospital eventually, as she had a womb infection 3.5 weeks after the initial encounter.
A womb?
A womb infection.
So an infection in her uterus?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just how it was written.
I hate that they called it that.
Well,
it
this
makes
is
sense.
also from the 90s, this report that I'm reading.
Yes, but womb, like the one you say womb, would be indicating like that a child is in it or recently left it. To me it's a uterus, but...
I'm just using the verbiage of the 90s
and Australia.
You know, the other place I could possibly find this is her book, which is expensive to get. And I'll talk about that later. That's fair.
Does someone want to sponsor us so we can get money for books for these cases?
Totally. Now,
Barnes and Noble?
I have that later brought up. So the doctors came to two opinions. She must have been pregnant and had a miscarriage, or that she had some kind of gynecological operation. There was also a strange triangular mark on her abdomen, along with a scar, and also another scar on her leg that were unexplained. The triangular mark and scars were found on the night she ended up at home as well.
So, like, her husband saw them? Like, the day of the encounter?
The night of the encounter when they got back, they did see them.
So someone saw them. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
what did she think then?
She had no idea.
Okay.
Now, we have a problem of what caused all this. Well, over time, it starts to come back to Kelly. They went to their friend's place, the same friend again, and talked about it with them. And one of I think it was like the girlfriend's like husband or boyfriend or whatever, made a joke about aliens and how they're not real. And Andrew started telling their friends that no, they're real. And that he believes in UFOs because him and Kelly had seen something when they were last there and they left. Kelly was confused about what Andrew was talking about and insisted that she would have remembered if she saw something. She kept searching in her mind and trying to remember what happened. And a few days later, she remembered the light and going into it. And she remembered that and arguing on the way home about it.
She didn't remember, like she has retrograde amnesia, is that what it's called? Kind of like where you don't remember the actual event.
Yeah.
But you remember kind of the before and after.
Yep. So here's what she recollected. The light was actually on their right-hand side in a paddock. Do you know what a paddock is?
That's for animals, isn't it?
A fenced-in field.
Yeah, like a pasture.
Yeah. But that's the more formal word to use. I also know what paddock is because whenever they talk about enclosures in the Jurassic Park movies, it's the T-Rex paddock.
Yeah. I was thinking of your Jurassic World Evolution game.
Yep, the paddocks.
Yeah.
I need to play Jurassic World Evolution 3. I bought the like Ultimate Edition for that. Used Microsoft Rewards, so didn't spend my own money, and have not played it yet.
Nice.
Yeah, they had serious issues when it first came out, so I waited.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Now it's on Game Pass, but hey, I got a bunch of stuff with the Ultimate Edition too that I can't get now.
That makes sense.
Now, back on this, there was a large craft there, massive. It was estimated between the size of a house to a possible 50 meters in diameter, which is around 300 feet.
Wow.
Large. That is a huge fucking craft. Now, this craft is larger than the first one they saw on the drive home, like earlier on the drive home. She asked Andrew to stop the car, and he did.
You say 50 meters?
50 meters, yeah.
That's only 150 feet.
150 feet. Damn, you're right. Yeah. Whoops. I doubled it by accident.
That's okay.
I thought radius for a moment.
Oh, yeah. No,
so 150 feet.
Yeah,
so that's still pretty big.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that's, if you think about it,
that's half a football field.
Yeah.
That's still a large craft. Now, he stopped the car. Would you stop the car if I asked you to, if we were to drive past a huge UFO in a clearing?
Absolutely.
All right.
I might stay in the car and let you out, but I would certainly still stop it.
Now, you want to know how she knew she wasn't dreaming? Like, this was, like, real?
What?
This is going to sound almost sexist, what I say happens, but this is from her.
Okay.
As she got out, she actually leaned back into the car and grabbed her handbag because she never went anywhere without it, she said.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. But this is what made her realize that it was actually happening. So they crossed the road, jumped the gutter, and walked towards the UFO. As they did, Kelly looked down the road and saw another car and saw 3 people at that car. She didn't pay much attention to the other people. She estimated they were about 100 meters down the road and possibly illuminated by the lights of another car further back. She was way more interested in the UFO, though, which is very valid. I mean, I would be more interested in that than people further down the road, but it would be nice to know other people are validating my experience. After staring at it for about 30 seconds, she then noticed there was a tall black figure in the field all of a sudden. It was about 7 feet tall and had a possible career in basketball. That is my addition.
I thought so. Is there Australian basketball?
Yes, there is. I looked up a little bit of it actually last night because while I was writing this, I wanted to Disney Plus, and live was New Zealand Basketball League, where the Auckland Tuatara were against the Canterbury Rams. The Tuatara were struggling. And as I told you last time in my text, they're struggling, just like the real world Tuatara in its evolution line.
All right.
Do you know why that is?
I don't even know what that is. Random
tangent. Tuatara looks like a lizard, but it is not a lizard. It is a sphenodont, I believe is the correct term.
What is that?
There were 2 types of like reptiles back in the Triassic, the sphenodons and the lizards. They are distinctly different groups, but if you put them side by side, they look almost identical, like animal-wise. Sphenodons have like different holes in their skull, and They started to lower their population in the Triassic, and then the Jurassic and Cretaceous were the end of the Sphenodont line. We never see them again in the fossil record ever, except for the one living species of Sphenodons in New Zealand. The Tuatara is the only living creature from that lineage anymore.
No.
But after the Cretaceous, they're entirely wiped. For 66 million years, they are nowhere to be seen in the fossil record.
Can I ask why we called one the Sphenodon and one lizard?
Well, this probably has a more formal term, but
okay.
I don't know where Sphenodon came from. I think that's right. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've watched a video for the name-wise, but that is the general thing with the populations. They are different, and the Tuataras are the last ones.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane.
That's like you. You're the last Ruskowski male.
Now, back on this, because that was a huge tangent. She could somehow tell it wasn't human and was taken over by fear. The eyes turned to what she described as a red fire, like a red fire color. That being was about 150 meters away, but the eyes were still very bright. It then started to slowly approach her, and then Kelly started screaming to her husband something really unique. They've got no souls. They've got no souls!
That's horrifying.
Yeah. Then, after she screamed that, I have a freaking typo in my structure for this. Then there were more of them on the field, and they were also approaching them at a faster pace, faster than what a person could run. They split up into two different groups once they halved the distance. One group went to the people on the other car, those three people, and the other half of them went towards Kelly and her husband, Andrew. Kelly screamed to the other people down the road, "They're evil! They're going to kill us!"
This sounds like a horror movie.
That's what I have. This feels like a good premise for a horror movie. I have that written right there in my script.
Oh wow, look at us. This is why we're married.
Kelly then feels what she describes as an oomph.
Honestly, I get it.
OOMPH, oomph.
Oh yeah.
In her stomach. She felt winded and was thrown right back. She was on her back on the ground and then sat up with her head between her knees. She then tried to stay conscious, but then realized she couldn't see and everything was black. And she was screaming out for Andrew.
That is a horrifying visual.
Kelly thinks that the winded feeling could have been possibly from an electric fence there, but couldn't be determined if the fence was actually on at the time or if it was power enough to hit her with that oomph.
Well, that would certainly cause damage to your internal organs, and that would likely be where the menstrual blood came from.
Now, she heard her husband saying, "Let go of me." She could hear the fear in his voice, and she had never heard fear in his voice ever before. Then she heard a male voice say, "We don't mean you any harm."
It sounds like you do.
It must have been vocal because a lot of things are typically telepathic for whenever like aliens and stuff are said to talk to people.
So this is just... Okay, never mind.
What?
This doesn't sound like aliens. This
well,
sounds like
some are vocal, some are telepathic.
This sounds like a government cover-up.
So, Kelly said, her husband responded, "Why did you hit Kelly then?"
Owned.
And that was the last she heard of her husband on the field.
Oh, that's sad.
Kelly, he obviously comes back and then gaslights her after.
What a dick.
Kelly began to feel violently nauseous and said, "Oh God, I'm going to be sick." Then she blacked out for some time, and the next thing she remembered, she was hearing them talk about being peaceful, and she screamed out, "Don't believe them. They're going to steal your souls." Sounds like a race of ginger aliens, if you ask me, and that's 2 weeks in a row I think we've brought up gingers and stealing souls.
Wow.
Then she heard, "I wouldn't harm her. She's my daughter." She said that sounded like sarcasm, and then she thought of earlier when she first saw the UFO, on the way to there, whenever only she saw it. She prayed silently to herself and said, "Father, wait for me. I'll be back down this way in a few hours." One protection, and she thinks that this line by the beings was mocking her because they must have somehow known that she silently prayed that.
So she was saying "Father" as in like Heavenly
God.
Father.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then she believes the alien being mockingly said, "She's my daughter."
Okay. Asshole.
Because she said, wait for me here, and the UFO did wait for them, so now it's father, I guess.
So it's her fault. So we're saying
she does believe that is possibly what led to this happening.
Oh, that's sad to like hold that, the kind of that feeling of guilt.
Yeah. Now she started screaming about how about how they were demons and how they were trying to steal people's souls. Then she heard somebody say, "Would somebody do something about her?" Which honestly just feels so relatable from the aliens or beings to say, "Will somebody please do something about her?"
How is that relatable?
It's just like, you're like, my God, can you not make this difficult? Like, we're just doing our job. Can somebody please deal with this? I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with some woman screaming hysterically.
This sounds very misogynistic coded.
Hey, she described herself as she was hysterically screaming, and that she maybe shouldn't have screamed as much as she did.
Listen, don't listen to that bullshit. If something's happening to you that you don't want to be happening to you, scream and scream and scream until you can't scream anymore.
All right. I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to be misogynistic in what I'm saying, so I'm sorry if I am.
No, I wasn't saying that, but I was just saying that can somebody please tell her to be quiet?
I just think that's just like such out of character typically for an alien. It's almost like relatable.
That would be funny if you're like you're abducted and you're like laying on this table and you're like screaming and they're like, "Oh my God, can you just shut up?"
That's basically what he is. He's like, she's screaming crazy, like she's just screaming and like kind of rambling at times, and he says, "Will somebody do something about her?"
Listen, if you just shut up, this will be over faster.
Then she felt a hand touch her shoulder. It was gentle. She then realized she was still on the ground sitting. She still couldn't see. Then she snapped and started screaming again. "How dare you do this to these innocent people?" Kelly felt that this was her fault because of her spiritual search in her prayer, and she started screaming and telling them to go back to where they came from. Harsh. And then she remembers the next thing is she's sitting in the car. Now we go back when she was home on August 8th, and she remembers the dream she had that night, because the dream provides more information, actually. Because the dream comes back to her then.
Yes, but we cannot process in the day. We do process in the night.
She would have other dreams, some similar, some not similar, but the August 8th dream has been described as best quality. She is back sitting on the side of the road and sees a being leading her husband down the field. She can see the being just below the elbow only, but the being's limbs are long and thin.
Ew.
She believes
Slenderman.
Somehow she knows it's a female. Don't know why, and she runs and tackles it.
She was jealous.
She then blacks
out. Don't touch my man.
Yep. She then blacks out and comes to further down the field with the UFO to her left. She then sees a non-human body on the ground in front of her, which slowly turns into that of a human. Then a middle-aged woman further down the field starts screaming at her and pointing, "Murderess! Murderess!" at her, and then Kelly feels grief about possibly unknowingly killing somebody.
This girl holds so much grief in her heart. That's so sad.
Next thing she knows, she has a hand on her shoulder and she's following obediently towards a small room, and in the small room there's a being standing before her, and there's a small table behind the being. It lets her know that she never killed anyone, but they manipulated her morality to overcome her fear so they could get her on board.
Bitches.
Gaslight. The ultimate gaslighting.
That is so gaslighting.
Gaslight final boss. Now, on the table behind the being is a Bible, and it's specifically one of her Bibles. She lost it a few weeks ago, and the being gives her Bible. Ew. And she lets her know she has an option. Two options: leave the Bible and join them. Leave the Bible and join them, or don't. The dream then ends, and a few days later, Andrew finds the Bible in the car.
Okay.
That's, I feel like, interesting.
That is interesting. Unless that was her. You know how
her subconscious telling her that the Bible was there. Or that she would have to abandon God if she believed this.
Both actually would be very true things.
Sorry, did I beat you to it?
No, I wasn't going to say the second part of that. I was going to say that sometimes dreams like can help you find stuff because it alerts you to where it is. So
now Kelly continues to have these types of dreams, and when she first dreamed this, she didn't even think of the UFO in context. Actually, more she thought of it, and this is a quote, soul vampires or the Grim Reaper.
Okay,
well, they have no souls and they're there to take them.
I mean, that's fair.
Now, after October, when she began to remember everything, she had dreams of the being there again, but this time it's actually in her bedroom and it's naked and leaning over her.
Ugh.
It appears to be about to kiss her navel area.
Aww.
And it is tall with a head much larger than a normal head, long and thin arms, and an abdomen that is thin and out of proportion. She described it like a kid suffering from malnutrition. The skin is gray-black plasticine. I don't know what that is. I guess plastic-like. I don't know. That's the word is. I've never used that word before. She then screams uninterrupted, and she remembers a voice telling her to check under the car. Her husband is then, she lets her husband, hey, can you check under the car? And he doesn't, and then...
He does or doesn't?
Doesn't. And then subsequently, there's a problem under the car. Like the car had experienced a problem.
Okay.
Don't know how that really plays into this well, but the last type of dream was in January of the fall. Sorry, no, there's 2 more types of dreams. One more in January of the following year, so this is about 5 months later. The bathroom light blows out, and then she is in her bed, and the being is there again in a black robe. She wakes up, and the light in the bathroom is blown out, and her sapphire and diamond rings are missing and are never found again. Maybe Andrew is just so upset he took them and pawned them off.
I hope it's the aliens.
She also had a dream of going through a flesh-like hourglass apparatus.
A what?
A flesh-like hourglass apparatus. So it's almost like, how the hourglass has a little thin area? So she's going through something like that, but it's fleshy.
Did you say fleshlight?
Flesh-like.
Oh, fleshlight!
I mean, they're pretty close to what I'm describing here.
I do not think that a fleshlight is the same as fleshlight.
I don't know. It's a tiny little fleshy-like thing to go through. Yeah.
Oh my god! Okay, please continue.
So this part was gross. But I've also seen that she did hypnosis to unlock more of the missing time. And through this, apparently the story grows. And she heard... she said some of the stuff she actually heard was in her mind when the beings were talking to her. And one of them apparently said, let's kill them whenever they first saw them. So that's only through hypnosis that part came through.
So some of them spoke aloud.
Possibly. It's hard to really tell because it's not well described between what's what, and it might be more in her book, but I don't have the book, and I'll explain later why no chance of me ever getting the book probably. But yeah, okay. And this is also where she's more described what knocked her down as an energy, or like an energy force knocked her down.
Okay.
Now, before we get into the next part, let's take a little break here for a message from some of our friends, which we haven't done for a little bit because I've been sick and we've been doing some shorter episodes and collabs.
Thanks, friends.
Not all paths are straight. Some twist deep into the unknown. Hey, I'm Amanda Joy, and every Thursday, a new episode of Down the Crooked Path beckons. Paranormal stories, strange encounters, and folklore that lingers long after dark. So take a deep breath, grab your flashlight, or let the mysteries guide your steps. Down the Crooked Path, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you for listening to that short message. Now back to the episode. Now we're going to get to the investigation. And this is mostly by Sydney-based researcher Bill Chalker. So he found all of this interesting and was investigating it, and he was one of the first people to actually get a call from Kelly because she contacted him first. He was from UFO Investigation Center, and he went to the Phenomena Research Australia group they call the PRA, so Phenomena Research Australia, and they're still around, I believe, to this day. And he went to them for help. The director, John Auchettl, I think that's how you say it, Auchettl, Auchettl, I guess Ockadell. That's what we'll say.
Sure.
So John Ockadell interviewed Kelly, and so did Bill Chalker. And they also investigated the area, getting much of the information we have now. Because basically all that I had before was from Bill Chalker.
Okay.
Chalker. Now, Chalker claims to have found above average levels of sulfur in the soil.
That is usually a sign that something has happened.
Yeah,
place,
and sulfur
right?
is associated with aliens and demons and stuff like that, and ghosts. Everything, really. A crescent-shaped indentation. Also, sulfur is associated with the shit smell we smelled when we were in Albania.
Yep.
And a triangular dead patch of grass shortly after the encounter. None of this was physical evidence that can stand today, unfortunately.
Which makes sense.
The PRA then put an ad in the local newspaper looking for the occupants of the second car, and they actually got a response. There were 3 people in the car, 2 women and 1 man. Their stories for what happened outside the craft were basically identical to what Kelly and Andrew's experience was, but it actually went further. They recalled being strapped to a table and examined by the beings inside the craft. Both women also had the triangular scar wound near their navels like Kelly, and some of the other strange scars. They also got a response from a third person, a local lawyer who was there, and his story also lined up for outside. So this was about the so this was the car that I said when they said they saw a second one, it looked like there was a light illuminating it from behind. This was that third car. Now, the story picked up a lot of steam and even appeared on the show Today Tonight, which is an Australian television show at the time. Don't know if it's still around. And was printed in various newspapers and magazines. She held talks and went to conferences to be a keynote speaker. And by 1996, she even published a book called Encounter, The True Story. This quickly sold out. It had 20,000 copies printed in Australia and 20,000 printed overseas. No more were ever reissued.
So only 40,000 total were printed.
Yep. How much do you think a price is right now for one, and the lowest price for one in American dollars is?
157.
118.
Dang it.
However, back in 2020, it was 150 for the cheapest one. A bit too much for a book for me, sadly.
That is like buying a textbook for college, except this one is not going to give you as much information as
I'm probably not going to revisit this case, so no point.
Yeah, sorry, Kelly.
But only 2 years later...
Send us a copy.
Somebody should make an ebook of it, but, obviously rights and everything. But only 2 years later, in 1998, she had disappeared from the scene, and none of the other witnesses had actually ever publicly backed her on the story. That included her now ex-husband, Andrew.
Good. Fuck him.
Andrew never backed her version and said it was all part of her imagination. Kelly thinks he was never able to fully cope what happened that night, especially with how much he then tried to deny it all. And as she described it, as somebody who, whenever she heard the fear in his voice, she'd never really heard fear like that before from him. So it was definitely something profound for him from what she described. The abduction was also what directly led to their eventual divorce. Around this time, from there was supposed to be an over 300-page report from the PRA. And the investigators said they would be coming out with it, but it never did. Even 27 years later, when which is where I saw one of the interviews from, so this was in 2020, John Ockadell, the director of the group at that time, said the report might still come out, but not anytime soon. He insisted that the case is good, and it still has a good report, and that they're still working on it. But they wanted to release the report, but wanted to focus on the case and wanted the witnesses to come forward and would back the case in the report. But because all of them have kind of moved away from it and don't want to be associated with it, they won't release the report they have until the witnesses back them.
I mean, that makes sense, but also I can understand why people would step out of...
Yep. They want to focus on the case and not the PRA instead, because they believe that they will have... The focus will be on the PRA instead of the actual case when they release the report. They haven't been able to get a witness to back them ever since. The 300-page report has since become an unusable 100-page report, is what has been described, according to him, because witnesses, including Kelly and Andrew, asked for their information to be taken out, certain parts of their information to be taken out, and refused for medical and psychological reports that backed their claims from being used. And Kelly's rely a lot on medical.
Yeah, I can understand, though, why
I think
she wouldn't want to share that
did-
information.
Yeah, and I think others did that too, especially the other two women, probably. Now, Chalker said that he received a call from Kelly herself in the early 2000s. She gave him 3 large archival boxes and left the country. Since then, she has actually returned to Australia and is living around the area where the encounter happened, but does not live her life in the public like this anymore.
I mean, that's good. Hopefully she can live some semblance of a normal life.
Yep, she wrote, so she mentioned that, she wanted to put this behind her. She wanted the other witnesses to come out as well, and they never did. She didn't feel confident without the others sadly backing her. And Chalker was not happy with how this all turned out, because he wrote in 2016 that he would never pass another case to the PRA again. And he became upset and not impressed with all PRA's reasoning for withholding the report, because I think they had approval to all this but didn't release the report at the time. So everything kind of fell out, and that just sucks. Now, since then, the report it exists, but it's not being released anytime soon, so who knows if we'll ever see it. But it does exist, and there probably is a version of that 300-page one with the stuff that had to be taken out. Now there's one with less usable information, but it's under 100 page, around 100 pages or something like that. Still won't release it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you don't have all those accounts to back it up.
Yeah, because of that, people lost focus of the case and didn't care about it, because anything that could back it is now gone entirely. This is all very unfortunate, and is really going to lead us into our theories now.
Okay.
So we have a few theories we can discuss here. Are you ready to go into them?
I am. Take it away.
First common one, it was a hoax. It was an elaborate hoax, as so far there is no report, and only Kelly Cahill ever came out publicly to support it. None of the other 5 witnesses ever said anything. So that kind of sucks, despite the fact that PRA talked to 4 other people who corroborated it, but have since not decided to back it publicly. So that's where it gets difficult, is the fact that there was a legitimate newspaper ad going out there, and they were able to corroborate the stories. But that could be if Kelly had an elaborate hoax, but she just doesn't. I don't know. I think that's too crazy, especially then to back out of it. But she did get a book deal out of it for 40,000 copies sold.
Which realistically is not that many.
Yeah.
But also, if you think about it too, she was a young mom with 3 kids.
Yeah, and her husband divorced her over all this. So
yeah, I don't feel like it's anything that she would have made up. I don't know that she would have even had the time to be honest.
Now, next time I'm going to call this the Mike Johnson theory. The current shitbag U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson is who I'm talking about.
Fuck that guy.
Because he's alluded to in times and stuff that if aliens are real, they're actually not aliens, they're demons.
What?
They're demons. I'm pretty sure he's alluded to that. That, with all this UAP and UFO disclosure, that they're actually demons, not aliens.
I mean, I guess demon, doesn't demon technically mean otherworldly?
I don't know, actually. But this could also fit into how she described them as soulless, and that they're coming to take their souls and all that stuff.
That's true.
But yeah, that's why I call it the Mike Johnson theory. Fuck that guy.
This could have been a religious hallucination.
Yeah. Now, going from here, let's go to the next one. The next is that it was actually aliens. These were aliens from another planet who came to visit and abducted people.
Okay.
And that's a lot of this fits your typical alien encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much outside the ordinary. The red glowing eyes is a little different.
The talking out loud, I feel like, is
maybe,
it's
yeah. And that could have been her mistake, because her eyes were closed the entire time, so it could have been in her head and she just didn't realize it. Because it could have seemed like it was outside, but it was actually in her head. Because typically people would say the mouths weren't moving.
Yeah, and she wouldn't know because her eyes. She was
very disoriented because she didn't even realize she was sitting down.
Yeah.
Now, then there is this is actually, I'm coming up with myself, a cover-up theory.
Okay.
The current. I actually would write the current shitbag U.S. House Speaker again. That's not the line I'm on. I accidentally hit my mouse. Did everyone not come forward for not being able to cope with it? Don't want to be associated with it? Or were they all threatened? Because there are many cases where there's alien encounters where people have reported being threatened. And I mean, you remember when we interviewed for the Carbondale UFO Festival? That also, once again, that's happening again this year. You guys should go out if you get the chance.
Yes.
But she was talking about how the witnesses have said that they were intimidated and reported. They're first treated out to a nice steak dinner and then threatened. You hear Men in Black cases, a lot of people are reported to be threatened when they see certain things. Which, could that be the case here?
I mean, I think that's definitely plausible. It wouldn't surprise me that if the government was trying to cover it up, even if they didn't believe that it was actually an encounter, that they would do something like that, you know? I mean, as much as I would love to think that other governments like Australia and stuff aren't as bad as the United States, everywhere you go, a government's corrupt and bad.
A bunch of governments weren't as bad as the United States, you'd probably hear more. But I'm pretty sure either the U.S. threatens some states or other states are just as, secretive about this as the U.S.
Oh, I can only imagine they're all
It's a
secretive
combination,
about it.
maybe. Who knows?
It's like dragons.
What?
Where, the reason that so many cultures have dragons without ever talking to each other.
Are you saying because they were real?
Not necessarily that they were real, it was interpretations of likely dinosaur bones.
Not always, but also some of it is just tales. Also, dragons vary heavily on cultures.
Yeah.
Asian dragon legends are way different than Europeans.
But dragons.
Yeah.
Aliens across.
A lot of people like to talk about Joe Rogan bringing on this guy who talks about dragons and stuff, but it's actually younger creationists who try to use dragons as a way to disprove evolution, and scientists are wrong and woke and all that dumb shit.
That the Earth is only
dinosaur bones are actually
6,000 years old or whatever. How can you believe in dragons, but you can't believe in dinosaurs?
I don't know. That's insane how widespread and common this is now.
How would a dragon fly?
If some of you here listen to Joe Rogan, to each their own, but he really platforms some of these crazy people to deny basics of science.
Dragons, how does their body even fly?
Also, if a dragon has 4 legs and wings, then it's a bug at that point. It's an insect because that's 6 limbs.
That makes me uncomfortable.
You gotta have stuff like wyverns where they have the wings or their front legs. In Harry Potter, I did see recently thinking about what dragons are the most realistic for flying and flight. The Hungarian horntail is possibly the best fictional dragon that is realistically could probably fly.
Well, it's not only I think it's the shape of its wings, but also the way that its body mass is.
The keel is the front part of it and the muscular of it. It has to have a muscular keel, and it has to have a good body to wing ratio. And so many dragons and depictions don't.
Well, I see that in even Fourth Wing and things like that. If they try to make that into a movie or a TV show, they're going to have to change, I think, some of the ways that the dragons are seen. But wyverns are also in that. So
wyverns are more closely related, closely realistic in anatomy. Or
they might be an akatar.
Besides that, those are really the gist of the theories that I have there. Do you have any other theories that you could propose? You kind of alluded earlier. There's actually people, and it was a whole government thing that they saw. But also, they're 7 foot tall and faster than a person can run, so it just seems unrealistic.
No, I mean, I think that there's also always confirmation bias too that could always fall into play of something that she thought she saw something on the way there. She's upset. Husband's saying no, you didn't.
But could then he sees something the second time.
Yeah, a little bit of confirmation bias type. I also think that there's a lot of things that could certainly be related to just the subconscious and the way that the subconscious processes information. Things like kind of something you had said earlier too, about the Bible thing, dreaming of where her Bible was. Is this my subconscious saying I would need to give up my faith in order to say that aliens abducted me, or is it I needed to kind of know where my Bible was because I thought that I lost it, things like that. I think the human mind is certainly an interesting factor. It is interesting that there was she felt some she hit something into her abdomen, and then later had pain and bleeding and things that led
I don't
her
know
to
if
the
it was
hospital.
that led it, or the fact that the other 2 witnesses said they were strapped onto a table and also had the triangle mark.
Yeah, but if she had the oomph and felt like something hit her in the stomach, that would likely be the cause of an injury of some kind or damage to anything that is in the abdominal cavity. Likely the uterus is going to be easier to damage.
Now, are you good on your theories now?
That's really all I got. I'm not super sure what this could be other than that.
All right, so that's about it for theories. The investigation, aftermath of the encounter. Do you want to hear something that you probably don't expect?
Always.
There's a pop culture on this.
Oh.
It's part of the reason why I was able to find cases on the information on this.
Oh.
In the 2016 reboot of The X-Files, Fox Mulder, who's been in isolation for a while, he gets approached by somebody named O'Malley, who is a presenter for a conservative TV network in the show. And to test his extraterrestrial knowledge, Mulder asked him about the Kelly Cahill case.
Oh.
And O'Malley brings it up about it. And, some of it was, pretty accurate, but there are a few things that were, I think, a little off with it. I haven't watched it, but yeah, so it was brought up there. And that's like, you don't expect a case like this to be brought up there.
No, I mean, that's a huge TV show.
Yeah. That's where like a lot of this gets revitalized and into like the zeitgeist of everything.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So yeah,
that was 20-something years later.
Yeah. 2016 is when that was brought up, and that's what helped me find a lot of my cases, because the X-Files brought it up, just an obscure case.
We love the X-Files.
Yeah. Now,
I honestly haven't seen a lot of them.
I
used to watch them when I was younger, but I don't.
I did too, and I forget where I stopped this. Like, I don't know if I can just resume where it was, because I don't remember because it's like an episode by episode. They're all different, but there's also an overarching story too.
It's how Bones is.
Yeah.
We should watch that.
X-Files.
Start from the beginning.
It would be a nice thing to also just sit there and write to as well.
Yeah, it could be our pre-bedtime routine.
Maybe do some writing on episodes and everything. Look at us coming up with plans while we're talking here.
Whoa.
In conclusion, on a winter night on August 8th, 1993, Kelly Cahill and her husband were going to see a friend and saw strange lights on the way there. They later saw the light a second time on the way back, and then a third time. After experiencing missing time, Kelly eventually recalled a terrifying abduction. As tall, skinny beings rushed them, she claimed they had no souls, and they seemingly took her and others aboard their craft. Despite thorough investigation, no report has still come out at this point, and we're still wondering what happened on that night. What happened when Kelly Cahill allegedly got abducted? That is for you to decide, listener. And you should totally let us know what you believe on our Instagram, on the Spotify comments, anywhere else. So, Sage, what are your overall thoughts on this?
I mean, it certainly sounds like something happened, and, I can't tell her what she does and doesn't believe in. And I hope that she's able to kind of live the rest of her life. I'm assuming she'd be in her 60s now-ish. Late 50s, early 60s, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think.
And I hope she's, getting to live her best life.
Yeah.
So.
Now, and for me, I think something happened there that night.
Something certainly happened.
I think some of her dreams have over-exaggerated it, because I think some people take her into account her dreams too literally. I think that's kind of hard to do. No,
dreams are definitely the way it's, but it's not necessarily that it's manipulatable. It is if you can lucid dream.
Suggestive.
In terms of what?
I don't know. I'm trying to use words of whatever you're trying to say dreams are.
No, dreams. If you can lucid dream, then you can manipulate your dreams. Okay. You can make them suggestive. But dreams, if you believe in Sigmund Freud and his understanding of the psychoanalysis, dreams are what your body can't, your consciousness can't process in the day. And so your subconscious is processing it, but it's not a one-to-one kind of understanding. It's overarching themes that come in different ways. So I'm deathly afraid of elevators. I often get a lot of dreams of I'm standing in an elevator and I'm falling through the bottom of it. That isn't, I'm dreaming I'm afraid of elevators, therefore I'm afraid of elevators. That is more like a metaphor for I'm kind of afraid of not achieving things, or that the rug won't get pulled out from under me. things like that. So it's not a literal 1-to-1.
Yeah, and I think some people think it is too much, and that's where it becomes hard to really verify this.
Yeah.
I think that's a good summary of this. So, Sage, what do you think my scale is going to be this time?
I truthfully, I got no idea.
On a scale of 1 to 10 down unders,
Wow.
what you thinking it is?
10 being so believable, 1 being not at all believable.
Yeah.
4.
I'm going to say for the, like, something happening, I'm going to say 7 down unders out of 10. Before, like, Kelly's, like, some of her stuff, I'm going to put it more to 4 down unders out of 10. My goodness, the dogs can't stop moving during this, but whatever. But yeah, 4 down unders out of 10 for Kelly's part, and 7 down unders out of 10 for the overall that something happened.
Okay.
That's a good amount of down unders.
That is a good amount of down under.
I think that really covers just about everything. Man, the dog, Marley's now all of a sudden so itchy, and Atlas just wants to keep readjusting. But with that being said, I think that's everything we have to talk about. Sage, do you have anything else you want to bring up on this? Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. Do we have any interesting things coming up from you soon?
I have no idea other than that the ice maker has decided that within the last hour of us recording that it wants to make so much ice.
There are so many, like, you guys don't hear this part obviously, but there's like a solid minute of just silence, and every time we were about to talk, the ice maker started making noise again. But at this point, I'm just talking. I'm not letting some damn machine rule my life. Now, Sage, I think we should hopefully have some cool stuff coming up. You get episode 100.
Yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for that. Got to be.
We can always make it a joint recap thing. Just talk about everything we've got done to get here.
Could do that too.
Extravaganza.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, bring some friends on.
Maybe.
All right. I think that is it then for today. So thank you guys for coming along on this out-of-world experience, this experience down under, and I just love saying that word. If you like what you're listening to, go follow us on our socials, specifically our Instagram, where you will see most of our updates and posts. And if you like what you're listening to on whatever platform you're on, like, comment, follow, review, subscribe, share it with somebody else. Every little bit helps. Every listen helps. Every like helps. Every follow helps. You guys have no idea how impactful they are. So thank you, everybody, for all your listening and all your support of us. So with that being said, Sage, are we ready for a good old classic sign-off?
I am ready.
And remember
to look for
the unknown,
the unsolved,
and the unseen.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.